Hi, everyone. It's the end of 2024. And so now we have the obligatory recap of 2024. Did I hit my goals? And yes, I did. And I actually hit them out of the park. So without further ado, let's get into it. 2024 was a very good writing month for me. Well, not even a month, very good writing year for me. But before I launch into that, I do want to say, just as a overall disclaimer, uh, sentiment before we launch into it, I have a couple decades of writing experience under my belt. Please do not compare your chapter 1 with my chapter 10, or even your chapter 5, or even your chapter 10 with my chapter 10. If you made it to the end of 2024, give yourself a pat on the back. There are a lot of people who had very, very bad 2024s, and sometimes just surviving it is a reason to celebrate, a reason to feel proud. Lord knows I've had some years where things did not go the way I planned. I had all these grand plans, and then a month, 2 months into the year, they all blow up. So if you are someone who had some great plans and you didn't get a chance to make them happen, or circumstances got in the way and they couldn't happen, please don't think that you somehow lost. So again, sometimes just surviving 2024 is, sorry, my neighbor's walking up above me. Sometimes just surviving is a triumph. Sometimes surviving is the win. So, uh, on a personal note, we'll start with 2024 was not a great year for me personally. It started with my dad going into the hospital, and thankfully, he's fine. He just celebrated his 79th birthday, so all is well. I also had some other family members that went into the hospital, and thankfully, they are okay too. So it was a little rough personally for me, but writing wise, it was good, y'all. It was really good. So, my personal goals for writing this year was that I wanted to have 6 stories published. Now, I had been saying for years, probably a good 3 years, maybe 4, that I wanted to self publish some of the short stories that I had traditionally published over the years. And I just kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And it wasn't that hard, but I finally realized that this was going to be the year. So what I ended up doing was putting together a production plan. I come from a background in records management and um, electronic publishing. That's sort of my day jobs. So normally when you work in that sort of environment, you have a production schedule. There's a certain amount of records you need to do. There's a certain amount of data you need to get through on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, quarterly basis. So I said, okay, well, I can do a short story once a quarter. And that right there is 4 publications. And now I just have to get 2 more published. Maybe I'll self publish something else, or maybe I'll get something traditionally published. This is what I was telling myself in January. So I went ahead and I put that production schedule together. And then I decided that the next thing to do would be to try and get some stuff traditionally published. I've talked about it before in my, I think it was the writer's rejection video, but um, I had submitted some stuff at the end of 2023, and the rejections came back in the very early 2024. So I said, you know what? These 2 stories are good, and they should not be gathering dust on my hard drive. So I started submitting them, and I did this huge push in March. And by April, the acceptances came in, and I had 2 acceptances in April of 2024. And that was the first time that had ever happened. The most I had ever had was one story accepted per year. And I was doing pretty good in the mid 2010s. I got one in 2014, then one in 2015, and then one in 2018, and then one in 2019. So to get two in the same year was amazing. I was like, oh my God, I have my six. So I self-published four stories. They're on my Amazon author page now, and I had two traditionally published. One of which was published the first day that I started this YouTube channel officially. When my author YouTube video went live was also the day that my second story went live also. And that was a coincidence. I didn't realize it until it happened. And I was like, oh, well, that's good. So that was the biggest thing for me, was that I achieved my goal of getting six stories published. My other goal, which is actually still in flux right now, is that I got an idea for a novel and I had been writing this novel. I had hoped to get a draft done by the end of the year. Now it is December 26th and I have no work, no day job until January 2nd. So the year's not over yet. I could get this draft done. But just in case I don't, the truth is, the fact that I am over 20,000 words into this draft is amazing. This is the longest thing I have written in probably 20 years. And I attribute it to two things. Number one is the story itself. It is a story that I understand how to write. That sounds weird probably to some people, but for some stories, they're kind of difficult to create scenes because I don't really know what's supposed to happen in those scenes. This is different. The plot is very straightforward, and I like that. I understand what's supposed to happen, how the story is supposed to move. The fun part for me is how I tell it. But in terms of what each scene is supposed to do, I get that. I get what's supposed to happen in these scenes. And so because of that, I decided that this story was what I was going to really focus on, especially during the second half of the year. I have two other short stories that need to be rewritten, and truthfully, one of them I'm gonna probably try and get rewritten, which is why I'm wondering if this novel is gonna get the draft is going to be done, because the deadline is the 30th of December for the short story, and I don't want to miss that deadline. So I may just say, you know what? This is all I could write this year for this book, and let me focus on this short story, rewrite it really quickly, and shovel it off to this publication so that it can be considered. Because I like the publication and I like the story, and it's a really good fit. That's really it. And at my heart, I really do love short stories a bit more than I love novels. Shh, don't tell anybody that. I know you're supposed to love novels more, but I love short stories. I really do. I do read them on a regular basis. Um, but I understand that, novels are where it's at right now in our culture. So, yeah. But I want to get this short story done. So this novel draft may or may not be done. It all depends on how quickly I can type the end on this draft. Again, I'm not aiming for a word count. I'm aiming for a beginning, a middle, and an end. That's it. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see. Shout out to my brother. He gave me this for my birthday a few years ago, I think, or maybe it was a year ago, 2023. So it's fantastic. Now, aside from those, my other achievements this year was that I actually wrote a lot on my blog. Normally, I post maybe 3 or 4 times on my blog, but this year I felt like I needed to be a lot more consistent. So I published 13 posts this year. for a total of 7,135 words on my blog. That is huge. I actually think I only published 2 blog posts in 2023, maybe 3. Either way, it's a lot of blog posts. In 2025, just as a sneak peek of what my goals are going to be, I'll put that video up January 1. But I'm aiming to do 2 blog posts a month on my blog. I also am thinking about starting a newsletter, so it'll basically be a cross post. But for now, I'm aiming for 24 blog posts next year, which is a whole lot. I don't actually, no, I did. In 2019, I published more than that because I was publishing almost once a day just to see if I could do it. So I know I posted at least 35 to 40 times because I had this month where I just decided that I was going to post every day. And it wasn't hard, but I did feel like after a while the blog posts were a little flat. So I think twice a month is good. That's the goal at least. But this year 13 out of a, a 13 posts out of a whole year is really, really excellent. In terms of my fiction, I finished one story which is looking like it's probably going to turn into a novelette, maybe even a novella. We'll see. I had wanted to get something done this year because I knew I was going to be working on the novel and I didn't know if I was going to be finished. And for me, finishing things is motivation. When I get to the end of a story, I feel like, okay, I've been working hard. I feel like I got something accomplished. So for sure, the fact that I finished this longer short story, even though it needs a ton more work and it's basically going to be on hold. I'm hoping that I can work on it, really, really work on it in the second half of next year. But for now, it's on hold. And that novella is the one I finished. And that was about 4,500 words, just under 4,500 words. So it's already a long short story. And I had plenty more, but I decided to cut it down to try and make it fit into being a short story. And everybody in my critique group said, this is too short. You need to put more in. I said, yeah, I had more, but I cut it, and clearly I need to add that back in. So it's probably right now supposed to be around 8,000 words. It probably could definitely be even longer. So maybe I have another novel. I don't know, but we'll see. But that's not until second half of 2025. We're not doing that right now. Right now we're working on novel number 1. As for that, I currently have about 23,000 words. So altogether, I wrote, in terms of new fiction, 27,590 words, which may change because, again, we have 5 more days left in 2024. So I plan on churning out some more words. But as of this filming, I have 27,590, which is fantastic. I know some people write 100,000 words in 1 month. That's great for them. But as a short story writer whose stories are normally a couple thousand words, and I usually do about maybe 2, maybe 3 a year, this is a lot of words. I wrote a lot this year. Altogether, it was probably close to about 35,000 words between my blog posts and my fiction. So that's a lot. I got a lot done. I feel very productive this year. And this doesn't even count, just general writing that I do for, regular everyday life, or my journaling, because I do try and put in one entry every week into my personal journal, which is just I just handwrite it in. It's usually Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening. And it's kind of just a recap of the week for me. I like to go back and read them, a few months later, just so I can see personally what I was thinking. Have I changed? Have I gotten better? All that good stuff. So I didn't even count those words because to me, that's not really, that's just what I do, It's what I do. Also, this year, in case you didn't know, I started a YouTube channel. And as of this filming, and there won't be any more, this is the last one for 2024. I did 14 videos, and officially, my first video went up on June 1st. But it's a test video that I took of a fox in a field, and I just basically said, okay, I'm going to throw this video up to figure out how to upload onto YouTube. But my first AuthorTube video went up October 21st, which feels like a million years ago, but it really was like 2 months ago. So in a little over 60 days, I did 14 videos. And considering that a lot of people quit after what, like 5 or 6 videos, I'm pretty happy with this. I just feel like I'm getting better at getting used to it. I still can't figure out how to get my angle correct. Oh, that one's good. So that my computer screen doesn't reflect in my glasses. But um, other than that, it's been really, really fun. I've really enjoyed being here on YouTube. I know some people don't want to tell their family and friends that they are on, but I do. And many of them watch this. And they've been very supportive. So it's fun. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but I have 11 subscribers. Thank you all for giving me a chance. I know I am by far not the most popular or most exciting YouTuber, but still, it's very cool that at least 11 people decided that I was worth subscribing to so that you could see what happens next. And yeah, so that's going to wrap my writing goals, my writing accomplishments for 2024. Um, it's been a great year writing wise. Personally, it was a little up and down, but I made it to the end, and I'm grateful for it. Every day uh, is another chance to make your dreams come true. That sounds so corny. I'm sorry. But I believe that I do. And like I said in the beginning, there's been some years where all my plans went off the rails. And this year I managed to get my plans done so far, except for the finishing the novel. But the fact that I am deep into this novel is really, really great. And I just feel like I am back to being a very uh, creative, and I'm excited about my writing, and I think it shows in the fact that I've been so productive. Um, I hope 2024 was great for you. Let me know below. Did you have a great 2024 or a not so great 2024? And my next video, like I said, will be my goals outlined for 2025. And, you know, we will start this new year with all of the hope and joy that writing can bring. And again, if this year didn't work out for you, I'm sorry. Don't worry. The new year's starting, and it's a fresh start, clean slate. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. If you liked what you heard, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you want to see more of me sitting in front of my bookcases, jabbering away about writing, creativity, and inspiration. Uh, and Happy New Year. I'll see you in 2025. Bye.